The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com.
Hey,
What's up?
whoo, nothing. Not just kidding.
I was like, what happened?
No. Yeah, I had to move some stuff around. My tree trim guy is here, and some stuff was in the way for some tree removal. Had to move it.
Your big old tree right there?
No, just smaller trees. I have enough trees around here to necessitate a part-time tree trimmer. Do you remember last year on my birthday how he was? Yeah, same dude.
That big tree.
Yeah, the big tree in the middle. Well, those were just like trimmed to just like maintain them because they haven't been trimmed in years. Mm-hmm. And then we just went crazy. We're like, we don't need that tree. We don't need that tree. We don't need that. I've removed probably from the front yard. I've removed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees.
You don't just hook them up to the tractor and just
I try so. Tractor content, right?
Yes.
So I used to have this really big cottonwood like right in the middle, like not the one that you're talking about. It was a different one. Yeah. And I had at the time actually my dad recommended this guy. Turns out he might have had a substance problem. And he went to town on this tree and just cut it to pieces, and like he broke the entire fence in front of the house just from limbs falling. And compared to this other dude, the guy that I have now, professional man. Like that's what he does. He works for like the PG&E up north, and he does like tree trimming and stuff like that for them. So the man is a professional. It's almost art watching this guy take down a tree.
Yeah.
He takes it down, like he cuts it and it like falls a certain way, and it's beauty. It's beauty. Anyway, this other guy,
you essentially just hire him to watch him cut trees.
Yes. It's like me and Angie's favorite show is just watching this guy cut down trees. So the other guy that I had years ago was had, like I said, a bit of a substance problem, and he like destroyed the front fence, like fucked it all up. And then but then the tractor, you said the tractor. So so that guy left this like probably 10-foot part of the tree just in the front yard. And I thought I was just like, I got a tractor. This thing is rowdy. I can get it. Almost broke my tractor.
Oh.
I hooked a chain to it and I was like, whoom, whoom, trying to get it down. I almost broke my tractor.
Yeah, I've seen videos of people like pulling stump or attempting to pull things out with their trucks.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious. Huh?
Yeah, they're like,
I quickly realized I'm like, no. So
sometimes you just got to call the professionals.
Sometimes you have to. You know what? This is a truck podcast. Same thing. Sometimes you have to hire professionals.
Yeah, I say it all the time.
Yeah. Well, and as I'm getting older and learning, like, yeah, man, sometimes it's admirable to do something yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just got to go like, hey, this is not going to work out.
Like when your furnace went out and then you realized it just blew the thing.
Let's not talk about that. Actually, I told Angie about that, about how, because like I had COVID for sure. So, COVID brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that, some wires crossed in my head and I turned on the cold thinking it was the hot.
That's amazing.
All the water heater's out. No, idiot. You just had the cold side on. You know what? Moving on.
I think the last podcast, I after we recorded, like a couple hours afterwards, I was like, I don't remember even, like, I was like, what did I there were so many things I didn't talk about that I I was still like, it wasn't necessarily the sickness, which I'm sure that had something to do with it, but
it was just catching up from the trip kind of thing.
The drive home.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do those long drives anymore.
I know, man. I don't know, like, but like, it's so easy to succumb to it because, like, you've been home, you've not been home for a long time. You're homesick. You want to get home. You hate all this hotel stuff, and you're just like, you want to do it, and you convince yourself to do it.
It's just right there.
Right.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And then I get to like a cutoff point, right? My cutoff point's Van Horn.
Okay.
So, like, if I make it to Van Horn, and if I pass Van Horn, I'm not getting a hotel in El Paso. It's 6 hours away.
Right.
Like, no. I'm just going to keep on going.
But then you paid for it. Because then I did notice you were a bit delirious on that.
I was
you know what it is also like? It's also like the time when we try to record a podcast right after coming back from mini nats, like literally the day after getting home.
Yeah.
We were cooked, dude.
Yeah.
That when I was like, rewatched that one, I was like, we do not know what we're talking about.
No. Even next week's going to be pretty interesting.
It is. It is going to be pretty interesting. That's going to be the cancer show. You're coming out.
The week, like next week's recording, we have to do it like midweek.
Yeah.
Get it done, edited, uploaded.
Yeah.
Because when I come out, I'll be out there Saturday. We'll be gone all day Sunday. Like, we're not going to have time to like
record
mess
one.
around.
Yeah. No, I know it's going to be interesting. And like life things, life report from my end, like that's the first day of my kids' softball, so I'm going to miss their first games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like life's crazy, man.
They'll
all
have
this
more
stuff
games.
going on. Yeah, they'll have more games.
Yeah.
Except for they'll be like, remember? And then watch one of them hits like a home run over the fence.
Tell them
like
to hit more home runs, and then you'll be able to see them.
And there you go.
Just tell them to do better.
Listen here, kid.
Flip this around on them.
Oh, make it their. Oh, is that what they call victim blaming?
Whatever. I don't care what you call it. Like, right. Dad, you weren't there to see my home run. And then you just say, well, maybe if you would hit a home run in every game, then I would see him.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And blame Angie for coaching him, not coaching him good enough.
So anyway, today's episode.
Come on, let's see who else we can blame.
Oh, yeah. Just blame everybody but ourselves.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So today's episode, most of these episodes, we go into kind of like, well, we don't know. I got something that just kind of, and it's better because like we were supposed to record yesterday. Things fell apart. Didn't happen. We're recording today. But in between yesterday trying to record and today, something has transpired that I think it'd be worth visiting, talking about, kind of dissecting it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
You don't know what I'm talking about. So it came to my attention earlier this week, maybe last week, but kind of yesterday, that if you go back and watch the LST video, I talk about that green S10 that Go Easy built back in the day. Mm-hmm. And these dudes from Arizona came up on it. They drove it from Phoenix to LST.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough. Go check out the video, my LST video. You'll see it. I talk about it, not in great depth, but a little bit. So it came to my attention that the dude cut it up to throw it away, right? And so I thought, I'm just gonna.
Well, I don't know if they're essentially throwing it away. I think they're throwing the body away.
Oh, see, yeah, we don't know. I don't know the whole story.
So if you read the for sale, it was for sale. It was for sale
yes.
for $10,000. Someone posted on the internet. And everyone was saying that's too much money. Blah 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 blah. What the internet does.
Yeah.
And then, but if you read the post, they had an entirely other truck for that thing.
Right.
They weren't just selling that truck for $10,000.
It came with another S10
with a 4.3.
Oh, okay.
Not just a 4-cylinder. You know what I mean? Like it came with a 4.3, which is a better motor for those trucks. It's like, so, they were asking $10,000. Would they have taken less? Probably. Mm-hmm. But you're essentially getting that. Like you just don't. Trucks are worth more nowadays. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what it is; they're just worth more.
Well, I didn't know the details. And that makes a lot more sense because, like, essentially what they're saying is you have this truck, you have this other truck, you can create another truck. And so, and it's just like one of those things. Like, I have no idea. I just saw the photo of this all cut to pieces, and we'll put that in here. This is the photo of it cut to pieces. Thought it would be interesting to, and like I said, I made that video a few months ago about LSD talking about the truck. I was like, oh, what an interesting juxtaposition of this truck, being a drivable thing, and now it's in pieces. I have literally gotten dozens of messages.
Well, the way that you posted that, You posted like
Did
it was okay. So sometimes you make memes and TikToks and they're not in the right context. Have you ever noticed that?
I do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So there was one time you posted the guy from Howard Stern. And
yeah.
And he's like, and you posted that like, hey, what are you doing? And it was like, I'm filming. That was the wrong context. That is meant for like if you get caught doing something bad.
Oh, well, yeah. You told me that after.
Yeah. So when I saw you post that cut up S10, the music that you used was almost like you were sad and upset about it.
Yes. Well, because I use what they call taps, which is that military like.
Yeah. So that like it came off like you were also upset about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably why you got a bunch of messages because.
Well, no. Let me explain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me explain the messages I got. You're right. I didn't really provide much context, but it's the internet. Like, really, how much? Right. Okay. You could have went into more explanation about it, but I didn't. Just posted. Like I said, I was more interested in the extreme from this thing being, complete to this bunch of pieces.
Now it looks like my Tacoma.
Yeah, with little to no context.
Yeah.
And but what was I found curious, and I've seen this before on other posts throughout social media, is people will find old, just derelict vehicles that used to be covered cars and trucks in fields and stuff, and they're wasting away. And the sentiment is always, why doesn't somebody save that? Why doesn't someone? It's such a waste, And that was the sentiment of like 90% of the messages that I got, which was, why did they do that? Why didn't someone save it? Again, no context, but I'm just relaying the messages that I got.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really curious, because I hear that a lot. Another example, I don't go to Facebook ever, but I popped in there one time and I saw this truck Starossa rotting away in a field. And the dude was like, oh, yeah, too bad this thing, went to waste. And people were like, again, context is key. But a lot of people were like, well, why don't you save it? Yeah, what do you mean it's gone? Nothing's too far gone. And it's like, well, things can be too far gone.
Well, and with that S10, it was beat up.
That's what I kept on saying to a bunch of people. Okay, here's my take. Can I give you my hot take? My hot take.
Or just your take?
I mean, yeah, my take. It is a way to say.
Give me your opinion, Frank.
I'll give you my opinion.
We're going back to the old school.
Okay. My opinion was I kind of respect it. If he decided to just scrap it, I kind of respect it, because had he posted online and people are like, whoa, 10 grand, that thing is worth scrap, and he goes, bet, and then cuts it. I respect it, man.
Exactly my thoughts on that whole thing. When I saw the cut up photo, I was dying. I was like, hell yes.
Yeah.
It was for one, it's an S10.
Mm-hmm.
They're a dime a dozen.
Oh,
get it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Wordplay.
Yeah. They're a dime a dozen. Hey, you could literally go on and find one on Marketplace right now for $800.
Right.
People give away those beds. Give away those cabs. That thing was rusty. It had sat. The Bondo was messed up.
Yeah, it was so beat. And that's what I was telling a lot of people who were messaging me. They're like, how could they do this? And I was like, it was pretty hammered, man. It was pretty beat up.
It was beat up. And who cares? Here's the thing. You ever get those other messages? You see all those Toyotas go down to Central America. If you drive the 10, they're like the Toyota trains.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, man, they're just taking all our good. Well, go buy them then.
Right. And that leads me to the next part. That is sort of the answer for a lot of the folks. And I'm not blaming these people or saying they're bad. Everybody has an opinion. Yeah. But I'm just saying if you are you going to make a bold statement and say why don't you fix it? Why don't you fix it? Why didn't someone who got upset about that S10 being cut to pieces, again, context, we don't know exactly what's going on, but why didn't you buy it for, at least offer them $8,000 for it and save the truck? So that's sort of so if there's an A and B part to this, that's the B part, is a lot of people were like, this is an iconic truck, blah, blah. Blah, blah, that seems contrived, but it's not. But it was a cool truck, and I remember it, and I remember it being very cool. I don't think it was an iconic truck.
So every iconic thing is iconic to someone because of a memory they had with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's not iconic to you, but I remember seeing that truck and it wasn't iconic to me, but it was different. You know what I mean? So I really like that truck.
Oh, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It was a
cool
truck.
I'm iconic. Something that's iconic is just something that is a good memory for someone. When you really break it down, it's same with music. You know, we always say like, "Oh, I like the older stuff better." That's because that's what you first heard. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if you never heard the older stuff and you just heard the newer stuff first, that would be the older stuff, and you'd be like, "I like the older stuff." You know what I mean? Like it's like. It's just memory and all that. It takes you back to a good time in your life or
true.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And that's exactly what that truck does. That reminds me of a really fun,
because
simpler, quotation marks time,
Yeah, because like what was like the first truck that you were like, oh man, like this, it didn't have to be the coolest truck, the most badass truck, but what was the truck that you were like when you first saw it, you were like, that's so sick.
Well, I mean, it is a sick truck, a time machine. Like that was the first truck that blew me away. Like when I saw it, it blew me away.
Yeah. And time machine doesn't do that for me.
Oh yeah. See,
so everything's different. So like someone that says it's an iconic truck, it might be iconic to them because they might have saw it in a magazine and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then also what we see in magazines isn't always built the best, or you know what I mean? Like,
to me that's the old the SEMA
thing, right?
The SEMA thing.
So people see a cover truck and they think it's like the best thing ever built when half of those cover trucks were kind of piles,
right?
You know what I mean? Like they might have had some fancy paint and stuff on them, but that truck definitely didn't have any fancy paint on it. So
no,
I don't know.
It was,
it's just the thing. It's just what the internet does, and
yeah, because like I and then I try to look at it from another perspective. Like my first thing was like, well, things, that's what happens sometimes, no need to really, and I'm not saying these people got upset about it, but they did have a feeling about it. And I'm like, well, but then I started like trying to look at it from a different point of view. Like what if I found, I've talked about this before in another podcast, and I guess in this context it's worth bringing up again. Yeah. Like when I found that George Barris build, it was really cool finding that car. The car itself was not cool. It was this like early 70s Lincoln. It was when people were building these weird, the build I'm talking about, like at early 70s where everything was sort of like exaggerated, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it was cool finding that car, but I don't think it would be worth putting it back to its former glory. But then again, if you found like, I don't know if you're familiar with this car, it's called Kiwi Crush. Oh my gosh, now I forget his name. The painter from Mojave, the old guy.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so he built a car called Kiwi Crush. And that car is like, if you found that car sitting in a field, be like, oh my gosh, this car, there's a lot of history, a lot of meaning behind it. Another example, I just recently actually heard of this. There was this guy who had essentially what is coined as the first lowrider. It's a 59 Chevy Impala. And this guy from Los Angeles built it, and it was the first one on hydros. It was the first one to have like wire wheels, I think so. And I could be correct if I'm wrong. But anyway, so it was in this family, kind of didn't get lost time because the family always had it, but it was got put away and deteriorated. And now this other guy owns it, and he's bringing it back and coins it as the very first lowrider created. So it's my point is like you have this like really big, like a big scale of things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just interesting to see where that truck fell.
Oh, yeah.
But I just thought I'm still getting messages about it right now.
That's so funny.
I just think it's interesting. People are pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, they are. And it's good,
Mm-hmm. Which, okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they should take that same passion and create memories for other people.
Yeah. Build something. Maybe build something new. Maybe build something newly iconic.
Or finish what you've been building.
Right. Which another thought I had for this whole conversation is you could say, well, damn, that S10 was beat. It was pretty rough. And, it had some usable parts on it. It comes with another truck to eventually maybe rebuild this truck to how it was. And then I started thinking about your truck in our conversation last week. Because if you think about it, if you like objectively look at it, your truck is just a frame and a shell of a cab.
But it's a Toyota, so it's much better than an S10.
I mean, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I just a thought that entered my mind. Here I am thinking this way about this S10, which actually was a running, driving vehicle that made it halfway across the country under its own power. And I'm saying like, whatever. But then now we look at your truck and we're like getting excited about it. And we're like, have this grand, you have this like grand idea on what it's going to be when it's finished. So it's just all really kind of just interesting to think about.
It just goes back to like other people feel different ways than you do. Mm-hmm. So when they say something, we don't necessarily need to be like, that's stupid or whatever, because everything has a different meaning to everybody. You know, it's just like when me and Panda were sitting there looking at the cab of my truck, and I was like, well, I could just go get a new cab. Like, I could go find a cab. I was like, if it's going to cost me X amount of dollars for you to do this cab, it's going to cost me X to buy a new cab. Mm-hmm. Why don't I just buy a new cab? And he goes, well, and we just kept going back and forth. He goes, but this has a lot of sentimental value to you. Mm-hmm. I go, it's just a cab of a truck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the truck, the memories that I have with that truck, yes, but that bed's different, the frame's different. This is the only thing left on that truck that was originally that I bought now is the cab and the front frame rails and the engine.
Yeah.
It's got new core support, new hood, new fenders, it's going to have new doors. It says it's on its third bed. There's like
that. I've also brought this up before, and you probably remember me talking about it. But there's that. It's a paradox called. There's two versions of it. It's called My Grandfather's Axe and My Grandfather's Ship, which is a boat. And where it says like, okay, so if your grandfather gave you an axe, and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you for such the sentimental thing. But the handle's a little janky, so you're like, okay, I'm just going to replace the handle. So you replace the handle, and then after a while, you're like, the blade's kind of messed up, so you go to replace the blade. At what point does it cease being your grandfather's axe and now has become a new axe or ship or whatever kind of iteration you want to use? You know, and that's sort of what your truck is like. Where is your truck?
No, my truck.
It's
at
conceptual.
The end of the day, it is. My truck at the end of the day, when it's done and I'm driving it, will be like all the memories of when I first bought the truck. You know, when my mom took me down to the dealership, I bought the truck, to the first time when I lowered it, to the first time I did a burnout in it, to the first time, like all these things, all these memories. And I even told Sean, you know, I said, it'll be so much fun. We look at this truck now, there's no floor in it. We welded the cab to the frame rails. We welded the bed to, yeah. That's the awesome. Transmission is welded to the cross member. Like,
that's hilarious. Yeah, that's very funny.
It's all in place.
Yeah,
it's there. Like, essentially, the hardest part on anything is measuring and making sure everything's right. Mm-hmm. After that, you just have to mount everything, right? So, like, we just ran one by one across from each side of the cab. That way, there's no floor in it. Now you can just build the body mounts inside the cab instead of underneath the truck.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes it way easier.
Yeah. So, like, I told Sean, I said, imagine us. Like at Mini Nats or whatever show, me and you cruising this down the street.
Yeah.
And like, that's what you strive for. Like, going back to that S10, when that thing blew by us on the freeway on the way to LST, that was so
cool.
sick.
That was so cool.
I was like, that is cool. Because those guys, it's not like they just drove it around town. They got in that thing and drove it 17, 18 hours to LST and just sat around it. And it's just this big pile of junk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But like the memories that they created in that thing is like, is forever.
I think you hit it on the head. I think if you go back to that paradox like example, it's not the axe, it's not the Toyota. No, it's this like concept of memories and like
where you were at that time.
Wow, that's deep.
Like in life, where you were at in your timeline. Whatever came to you in that timeline of life, you're going to remember it. Whether like I still have like some people keep like concert tickets or they collect certain things when they go somewhere. It's all the same thing. Yeah. That's just what a vehicle is. That's and then, some people make it a hobby. Some people make it a career. Some people do this or whatever. But essentially it's like, yeah, they're just good memories.
That's deep, man. But I get it. That's a really good way to look at it. I like that. I'm going to start answering all the people who
look at good memories like bad memories. Like we have PTSD from bad memories.
Right.
Traumatic things happen to us. Like we get triggered when certain things that happened to us when we were younger or whatever, and then something will trigger into it's the same thing when I look at that truck. It triggers good memories.
Right.
So
yeah, no, that's great. That's a really good way to kind of like cap this conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, because like that's what I told this to a couple people who messaged me, and I'm like, this is worth discussing, and that's what we do here. We just like discuss stuff. We kind of dissect it. We have some opinions, and we move them around, and we come out the other end. And I'm very satisfied. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we tell everyone they're wrong and we're right.
I mean that's good. Duh. What is it? Your favorite thing is your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. No, it works out good.
Yeah. I'm just doing the internet thing, but alive or on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to tell all the now because I'm still getting messages. So I'm just going to tell the people like, listen to the podcast. We handled it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We handled your feelings for you. Go watch the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Our buddy Jason Bacon had hit me up about it. We had a little back and forth conversation about
the S10.
About the S10. Yeah. And then I don't know. It's just one of those things.
No one in my video corrected me because in the video I said MIC built it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was Go Easy.
That's
built
how
it.
much.
But I guess
that's how iconic it was. No one freaking corrected you.
Remember? Do you remember who owned it?
No, I don't.
It was oh my gosh. Todd Sweeney, the pinstriper.
Pinstriper, that's right.
Yeah, and he actually went on. So and like all of his builds, definitely have like a retro feel to him. And after that S10, he went on to build a really cool square body S10.
Yeah.
Standard cab. It had
yep.
like lake. It was orange. Yep. Had like lakeside pipes on it and stuff. So that guy's and he still hosts a cruise night like pretty well. I don't know if he did one this year, but for a while he was hosting a cruise night pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Down at his shop, and he does cool. He's a great artist. Does cool stuff, and which is weird because he didn't really say anything about it.
That's because
whatever.
He's a creator. He could just create another one.
Yeah, he could just make another one. Right now, he's got a sick
and it was
C10.
It's a $500 S10. No one cares anyways.
Right? Oh, man. I'm sorry, my S10 people out there.
I think it's funny.
It is funny. It is very funny.
My favorite part about the whole thing is like everyone says, oh, Frank hates billets. Frank hates S10s, but he made a T-shirt with the S10 on billets on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna Georgie's truck is a truck, yeah. But that was really subtle. Like I would probably need to redo that one and use it in a better way because I don't think it really translated well in that shirt. Because like that one, it said Custom Life versus the World, and it had his truck, but it was like super super dark gray ink. So it was like kind of very.
But it was
subtle,
still an S10.
It was still an S10, still on billets. I actually still have that sticker. Like if you swing by the booth, that sticker's still available.
And I'm making an S10 T-shirt too. It'll be out. I keep saying these shirts are going to be out, and I keep getting teasers for them, and I'm just like, come on.
Okay, girl, give it to me.
Yeah, so I've got our 30-year T-shirt is going to be cool. It is.
Heck yeah.
Not the ideas that I had. Like,
better? Well, obviously better.
I mean, I think so. It's an idea that the artist, Daniel, was like, hey, I don't really like this. He goes, what about this? And I go, yeah, man, whatever. And he sketched it, and he sent me the sketch, and I was like, that's nothing like I've ever seen before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. That's exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's only 2 months away.
It is, man. It's coming down fast. Next weekend's coming up fast, too. Like, it felt like that show was such a, like, distant thought, but now it's, like, next weekend. And it's going to be busy. We're going to be out. We're going to be shooting some podcasts.
And then I'm leaving, so I haven't told you my plan yet.
No.
So I
haven't told you my plan yet.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you mine, and then we'll see if it coincides with yours. So I'm going to come out in the Maverick. I'm going to set the booth up. We're going to do all that stuff. And then I'm going to go back to your house. I'm going to drop all my booth stuff off at your house. And then I have lined up like 4 photo shoots all over California. So I'm going to drive to Santa Maria. Then I'm going to drive up to Modesto, Bakersfield, Lancaster, and then your house. Pick up all my stuff and then come home.
Nice. Yeah, that works out well. The only little BTS here, the only modifying thing is since like I have my kids' games are that day, Angie's going to be like super busy. What time were you planning on getting out here? Like right to going to the show?
I think so.
Because if you were to stop here first, we could load up all your stuff in the trailer. Because I want to take the 4Runner, and like I'm running out of people to drive stuff.
Oh yeah.
We'll work that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's some BTS.
Yeah, yeah, we'll figure it out.
But But yeah, so yeah, that do you have your package with you?
I do. Oh, look, Brandon's calling me.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
He's all your shirts are ready.
No, he sent me a picture of Daniel's empty seat.
Oh,
because Daniel lives in Oregon, but he's down here right now.
I was gonna ask. I'm like, wait,
and he hasn't been. He hasn't been there.
Oh, yeah, that was a little confusing. I'm like, is it just a picture of his house with no one in it?
No, it's this.
Oh, he's like, well,
he's like,
it'll get done soon.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to show you a picture of the 30-year shirt. Tell me if you can make anything out.
No. What is that?
No.
Oh, poor connection.
I know.
Wait, hold on.
It's going to be cool.
Wait, no, put it back. But you had it kind of far. Put it back in the middle of the screen.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Still don't know what that is. I can kind of make out a semblance of something, but I couldn't say.
No. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. So we got a package.
Our good friend Michael Myers out in Phoenix, Perfect Poise. What's his Instagram? One low NBS. I'm sorry.
Know.
Anyway,
you're all pixelated right now. We got bad connection.
I know. Yeah, well, which is weird. I thought I fixed my internet. You look fine. Am I still messed up?
Yeah, you definitely don't.
You want to try call me back?
Nope. Let's see if it fixes itself.
Okay, cool. So our good friend Michael Myers, Perfect Poise.
Let me call you right back.
Okay.
I'm calling Frank back because he's pixelated, and the voice was starting to go out.
Better?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your voice was starting to go wah 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 wah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I already said who sent it, so we got these packages. We are opening them live on air on the podcast. We don't know what they are. And for our audio listeners, hang in there.
Yeah, we're opening boxes. We're opening presents. If anybody else wants to send us presents, go right ahead.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to send us stuff, 12277 Apple Valley Road, number 128, Apple Valley, California, 92308. That's my address.
What about me?
So, well, you could say, I don't know your address. What's your address?
You could send it to the drop at 2, or no, just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just send me stuff.
Just send Frank stuff.
Well, because that's my mailing address. That's not my physical address. So you can have that. You could have that one.
I have not opened it.
I'm still working on the package here. Okay. Wait. Oh, almost. Okay. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Go. Hey.
Oh, Hot Wheels. Neat.
What'd you get? Which one did you get?
I got a red Nissan Titan.
So did I.
Nice. Check that out. Our audio listeners got to come over to the YouTube channel.
Oh, and he wrote a note.
I see that as well. Won't read it out loud just in case there's some sort of incriminating. He confessed to some crime.
Mine says, "Dear Brian, I like you more than Frank. Don't read this out loud."
That's what mine says.
It says that,
but mine says, "I like Brian more than I like you." No, thanks, man. I'm gonna read this later, and I appreciate that. Thanks, man. That's really cool. And did you also see it's got a sticker of his truck?
I did. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
See if you can see that right there. Cool. Thanks, man. That's really cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate it. Is there any money in here?
I know. We're all.
Yeah. Awesome. So also this episode we are going to be doing a couple questions, right?
We are.
Did you put the music on your computer? No.
No, but it's okay. We can play it ready right now. Go.
Drop in.
Go.
Drop. I dropped everything. I knew the drops would come. Drop it.
Right on.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome,
I think.
Welcome to dropping
I'm
in.
gonna put that on here soon.
Yeah. But the funny thing is it actually doesn't matter. Well, no, you can hear it, right?
No,
you
I
can't
can't hear
hear
it either.
So it doesn't even
Well,
matter.
it's
You just had
easier
it in
because I don't have
post.
to add. It's just one less thing I have to add when I'm editing it.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. So you showed me some questions.
Did you read any of them?
Yeah, I did.
Is there one that piqued your interest?
No, you can just start wherever you want to start.
Let's talk about what is this? We're at 35 minutes. You want to answer the electric car question?
Do we want to go there?
I don't know.
Do you want to lightly?
Yeah, we could.
Like, how does it how does it pertain to the question that this person asked?
It says so. This is _ snail trips on Instagram. It says, "What's up, guys? So my question is, with the world talking about going electric and bringing out these new trucks all electric, what do you guys think about them? And also, do y'all think you would ever own one?"
You and I talk about electric vehicles a lot. We do.
I follow the.
You know a lot more than I do. I only know it from like a consumer point of view, like not even a consumer point of view, just like a kind of like, oh, I didn't know that thing exists.
Yeah, so I follow electric vehicles and the technology around the electrification stuff pretty closely. I wouldn't say like as intently as some, but I do follow it pretty close. So, and my unpopular opinion is that I really, really like it. I think right now, if you were to like halt progress, then no. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like if you took a F-150 and an F-150 Lightning, it's easier to put a trailer on one and drive it across the country.
Yeah.
But if we go back to when we were riding horses and the car came along and you were on your horse and you said, well, there's not enough gas stations to drive that car across country. It's the same thing. It's the same mindset.
Yeah.
Like, so me, like, I can't say like, I'm just excited for it, I guess you could say, because I like technology and stuff like that. And I don't care. Like a lot of people's opinion is, they're forcing it on us or whatever, you know what I mean? But if that was the case in the state like California, where there's very strict emissions laws, they would have came around and taken everyone's hot rods.
Right.
They didn't. Pre-74 in California, you could do whatever you want.
Right. And that number is only getting newer and newer.
It hasn't in a long time.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
For a while it was. Yeah. It was tracking pretty well, but then it didn't.
Yeah. So who's going to go buy like a brand new car, right? Who cares if your Toyota Corolla is powered by gas or if it's powered by electricity? It has zero effect on me. It has zero effect on anyone else. It's and if we really think about it, if most commuters, like we'll say 90%, right? They don't buy cars for anything else except to get from point A to point B.
Right.
If we got all those point A to point B commuters in cars that weren't emitting emissions, it would allow us as petrol heads to do more modifications that do emit more emissions. Because in the grand scheme of things, that's less emissions being emitted. Mm-hmm. So the whole like the hatred towards it, I don't think people are thinking about it critically enough, because it is creating a ton of jobs. It's creating new car manufacturers. You know, like if you look at the big three, where they're mostly made in like Mexico and Canada. But if you look at like Rivian, Tesla, Lucid, some of the EV diesel truck people like Nikola, they're all made in the United States. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. There's a big. I don't think it affects us as like truck people, because it just doesn't. It just doesn't affect us like people think it does. When people get on the internet and scream about it, you know?
Right. I completely agree with everything you said, because that's what we've talked about. Where you and I are pretty much like 95% on the same page as far as all that is concerned. I think what you're talking about in general, or what you're talking, not in general, but what you're talking about like getting the commuter cars off the road, turning them electric. You know, it's just like, how many times have you heard, oh, I bought this 89 is a weird number, but bear with me. I bought this 89 Tercel because it gets 30 miles to the gallon and I need to get to work at a decent price. No one trips over that. They go like, oh, cool, man. Whatever, you know.
Well, they also trip over the battery thing, right? Like the battery, like, the battery mining is just as dirty as the.
Well, that's like
a whole different thing, right? But
that's like another thing. But talking about the thing we're talking about specifically right now, which is electrifying commuter cars, I think, and this is like, without getting way into other stuff, because it's not just one thing. It happens a lot. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's all marketing. When you have Dodge trying to like, hey, look at this Charger that's electrified and it's got a fake revving motor sound on it. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, that's not the way to get these guys. Because like that is so a good argument would be is like electric car companies in general do not care about what we do. Building weird cars that go up and down or fast or low. They don't care about that. They care about selling cars at the end of the day. But when they do that, they are trying to talk to us in a particular way, and they're failing miserably at it, which is a better approach would be what you're saying, which is like, hey, look, if we can get all these cars off the road, hey, man, you want a 2004 Tacoma with an LS in it that puts out like 800 horsepower? We don't give a crap anymore. Yeah. You can do
Washington State got rid of all their emissions testing because the newer cars on the road they're like they're less polluting, so it doesn't even make sense to like check them for this anymore. So think about it. If you have like a city like LA or any big cities where cars are just sitting on the freeways idling, emitting pollution and whatnot, if all of those cars or most of those cars were sitting there idling, not emitting pollution, and all that goes down, eventually you're gonna be your all your smog stuff is going to go away. Smog checks, they're going to go away. So all the stuff we complain about is going to go away.
Yeah.
Because in the end it's about making money. So
and that's what I'm saying. Those car companies don't care about us.
Well, no, I'm saying the smog checks.
I see.
So emissions checks, it's money, right? You have to go every 2 years or whatever it is, pay the money to the state, get your car smogged. And then, but if you have now this electric car, most people commuting with electric cars, they don't go get smog checked. It's going to put the smog stations out of business.
I've been meaning to ask my smog guy about that because like I don't do any like hot smogs or anything because all my stuff like passes smog. Yeah. But I go to the same dudes all the time and I've been meaning to ask them about that, like, because they have to see the writing on the wall.
Gas cars aren't going anywhere. Gas trucks aren't going anywhere. Diesel trucks aren't going anywhere. Like the complaint is like California in 2035, every new car sold needs to be zero emissions. Zero emissions is usually electric, right?
Right.
So in 2035, when in 11 years or 12 years, when you go to buy a new car, they want you to buy it. They're going to require it to be zero emissions. Now that's commuter cars. Trucks are still going to have gas engines in them, but the consumer is the one that makes the change. Yeah, the government comes in and makes rules and laws, but the consumer demands it. Once the consumer sees, like, oh, I can pull my car into the garage, charge it at night, and it costs me $4 every few days to drive back and forth to work instead of driving by the gas station and watching gas go up and gas go down. That's a stressful thing.
Right.
So anybody that now goes to buy a new car, their electric is now going through their mind. They're like, oh, maybe I should look at an electric car. And then once those prices of electric cars start to come down, which they already are, when you go to buy a new car, it's gonna go through your mind.
Oh, yeah, it's going through my mind right now.
You know what I mean? Should I buy a Tesla or should I buy this Hyundai or should I buy a gas car? Like, which one makes the most sense for me right now?
Right.
And by 2035, that could be if you're buying a daily commuter car, it might be that. But at the same time, no one's coming to take your hot rods. No one's coming to force you to do anything. If most of us drive older cars anyways. and most petrol head guys, they drive old trucks and they don't like, so it doesn't affect them.
Right. I think I recently had a kind of not an awakening moment, but like kind of like an aha moment is what they call them. Is like a couple years ago here in California, everybody was tripping over the fact that they wanted to get rid of small gas engines, which is like weed whackers, lawnmowers, all this stuff. People were pretty upset, which is a fine, that's fine. So I recently started buying a bunch of like tools, for like around the house and stuff. So I'm like, and here on the property, when you're way out in the corner of the property, you don't have electricity out there. So I can't like run a cord out there. I tried one time, actually. I had like a 200-foot cord. I learned what line loss is. So I found myself saying like, man, I need to get some battery powered tools. And then so I went down to Harbor Freight and I started with I bought a drill. Obviously everybody has an electric drill. Duh, right? But then I was like, man, I need a circular saw. So I bought a circular saw, but I had already bought that electric drill. And then now the saw, like if you wanted to buy a saw, it doesn't come with a battery. So you are kind of like already have to buy that brand because you already bought the drill. So now you're going to buy the circular saw that takes that battery. And now I'm like buying tools down this trajectory. My point is what you said is it's dictated like when the time, and this sound, I don't know, when the time comes when everything is electrified, you will just one day wake up and go, oh yeah, everything is electric now
because it's like more sense.
Well, but like it's a subtle.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Because people, here's the thing.
No one's gonna come in and just like grab everything. It's like a subtle transition.
It is a subtle thing because it also makes more sense. Go into any shop. They have more battery powered tools than air powered tools.
Yes.
They have more battery powered tools than electric cords. Mm-hmm. No one complains about that. And then everyone will complain about, batteries. You can't recycle them. Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. There's a company here in Arizona that's recycling car batteries. Also, there's all these arguments, and they're so simple. Like they're so simply. Any topic you see, you have the same thing, right? Oh, this batteries aren't recyclable. Oh, the range. Mm-hmm. Oh, the this or this or this. But when you really think about like the argument of, the batteries, the mining is dirt. No one cares about that. Don't act like you care about the dirty mining true. When everyone has a cell phone. Mm-hmm. No one was talking about mining dirty batteries with cell phones.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about mining dirty batteries with laptop computers. Like everything that you have that's battery powered. Same with gas. It's dirty to refine fuel.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, it is all the like yeah. If you get into the weeds of every process, I think also though it is important to say the caveat to all this is, and I think this is where we could actually start, is there is some validity to everything. Yes. So all the people with their opinions on electric and why they don't think it's good, there is some validity to those, and I think and this sounds very hippy dippy like kumbaya, but if we could just like start there and be like, you know what, you have a little bit of a point. Oh, you have a little bit of a point. We all have a little bit of a point.
Every argument has a point.
Right. Exactly. And so
you know what I mean. But you have to get beyond the simple.
Right. And I think both sides of the argument can work on that.
That's the thing, right? Like there is no sides to it.
That's a very.
This is just my simple opinion because I'm so fascinated with transportation and stuff like that. So I started instead of like going, well, I can't drive across country in my truck. I just started like researching it and listening to the people that actually know about it. Because if I'm gonna like want to learn something about an electric car, I'm not going to go to like a petrol head that hates electric cars.
Yeah.
He's just going to tell me everything bad about them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I'm going to go, oh yeah, whatever.
And then on the other side, if you talk to someone who is so EV that's all same thing.
It's the same thing because they go, there's sometimes I'm listening to these people and I'm just like, you are annoying.
Yeah.
Like stop it.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand. Like they'll make excuses.
Nuance.
They make excuses like about buying an electric truck. It's like electric trucks don't make any sense right now. Like they make sense for some people, but they don't make sense overall. Go to Texas and tell me all those trucks are gonna be electric by a certain. No, it's not good. It's not going to happen. Yeah. But at the same time, technology is so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That was my. I'm sorry.
You can already charge a car in this almost the same amount of time as you can get gas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a little bit longer, but at the same time, when you charge a car, you're not charging it to 100%.
Right.
You're only charging it enough to get to the next destination.
And see that little thing right there, the very anti-EV people, like there's a lot of like miscommunication and a lot of like misunderstanding,
Well, there's a lot of misinformation too that's being pushed
that's also it.
By a lot of different things. But the biggest thing, like, we kind of got a little off track with this because I do listen to so much stuff, so
and that's hard for me to we have avoided this subject for many episodes just because
it's hard for me to
it's a big discussion. Their entire
and it's not
podcast.
a discussion, and it's not a discussion that's even going to affect us as like as truck guys.
Exactly.
Like this guy, his question was like, basically like, would new trucks? What do you guys think about them? That's what I think about them. I think, me personally, if I was in the market for a new truck, like let's say a half-ton pickup truck, and they're $50,000 to $60,000, if there was a electric pickup truck, like say a Rivian, for example, if a Rivian costs the same amount or maybe a little more, I'm gonna probably buy the Rivian because it makes more sense for me.
Right.
I'm not gonna drive it across country towing. That's not what I'm gonna do. You have
a 20-year-old Nissan Titan for that.
Exactly. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not ready for that type of thing yet. But around town, like if you monitor how many miles you drive around town, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
So I could take a truck. The farthest I drive is like the East Valley. So I'm putting 150 miles round trip. At the most, you know what I mean? Like if I were to direct line drive to the East Valley to like Pro Performance, 60 miles or something like that, 60 miles home, and then some mileage in between. So let's say 150 miles. Every single electric car goes way farther than 150 miles.
Right.
And I just pull into my garage and top it off with gas every night. That costs me pennies on the dollar versus filling up, putting $100 in a tank to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I would 100% do that. And so, yeah. I don't think it affects us, though. It's not going to affect us for a long time.
So, yeah, I feel like the exact same way about the trucks, too. I like them. I think they're really cool. When I first saw the Lightning, I was really excited about it. Again, because I'm like you. Like, I'm a technology guy. I like new things, and it was really interesting and just kind of like a new thing. I share the same opinion that, like, you were talking about, like, charging them, the speed at charging them and stuff, and that's like was one thing. Is like, well, it takes so long, you could fill it up faster. My thing is like everything catches up eventually. Like they have to figure it out. Like if this is the grand plan is to go to all EV, you can't have I'm very like putting this out there, like I don't know what I'm talking about. So like they can't say everything. They're going to want to make everything EV and then have trucks or cars that take X amount of things to charge. Like they need to charge them in 10 minutes. They need to do this stuff. Yeah. And it will eventually happen, Yeah. So
yeah, it's all going to happen. Again, the consumer drives all the demand. Industry. Because even if the government makes rules, if the consumer, they don't work for the normal everyday consumer, like if it's not easy for me to wake up, get in my vehicle, drive to work, go to work, come, and then drive home. If something's not easy about that,
then it's not going to work.
Then it's not going to work.
Right.
So if you can go to the dealership, buy your car, bring it home, put it in your garage, plug it in, you wake up in the morning with a full tank of gas, you go to work, you come home, and you repeat those processes, that just made your life easier.
Right.
And if it makes the more people's lives that makes easier, that's the consumer demand. Yeah. It's not about
the companies are just going to follow that.
Exactly. GM don't give a crap about LS swapping your 79 C10.
And that was my point earlier.
You know what I mean? Like we don't drive the industry. The industry drives, and it's already changing. So if you go to SEMA, if you went to SEMA 10 years ago and you talked about anything electric, you were shunned.
Mm-hmm.
You go to SEMA now, just within 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. You go to talk to like a car guy. Like if you would have told me 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if you would have been like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying an electric car, I'd been like, you're stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Now even like the most hardcore anti-EV guys, they're like, yeah, I was thinking about buying one just for a commuter though, just for
Well, and that was my point about like the 89 Tercel or Corolla or whatever. It's like I had a friend this is interesting. So I had a friend who was him and his dad. They lived together. They both, this was in the mid-ish to maybe late to the early 2000s, 2010s. They both bought 89 Civics. Mm. And they drove them to work every day, and it was like a thing for them. They got these cars. They were just junk cars, but they got them running. They got them going. One of them used to drive from here in the desert down to Santa Fe Springs, down near like Long Beach and stuff. And then my other friend used to drive up to the railroad where he worked, and it was like a thing,
Yeah.
But no one. The drive behind that was, again, to make their lives easier, to save more money on gas, to get in this car that they don't care about and put 10 million miles on it, and it served a purpose, but they also had fun doing it.
Yeah, and nobody is like so if you're a kid, if you're a kid and you are 10 years old now, and in 10 years or 6-7 years when you start driving, you're not going to go for an 89 Civic.
Right.
You're going to start looking at newer stuff. You know what I mean? Like used newer stuff, like a 2019, not a 89
or a 2005 Nissan Titan.
So in 20 years, there's going to be used Tesla Model 3s.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That new were 50 grand, used are 20 grand.
Yeah.
And 20 grand now money was 89 Civic used Civic money.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a thing. And I find it all, like I said, I find it fascinating. I know it's a touchy subject, and I know people will be like,
I know. And I was just thinking, I'm all, this is cool being on my channel, because now I'm going to get all the comments.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but I'm just joking. It's just we're just having fun here.
It's a touchy, everything is such a touchy subject now.
Yeah.
Everyone will yell at one thing or yell at the other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The offended people that say everyone that gets offended are usually the ones that usually get the most offended or something. Like, how many people are going to get offended over us talking about EVs saying we like them?
I don't know. We're going to find out. We're sure as heck going to find out. But
yeah,
it's a large discussion. I think, we could just kind of, I think as long as we answer honestly and within our capacity and knowledge, like that's all we can do.
That's it.
And we're not saying we're even right. Like, at least I'm not saying I'm right. I said, I don't know, man.
There's a guy, Bismoto. He's from Ontario, California out there. And I think
that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. He is cracking open electric motors now.
Oh.
And messing with the motherboards.
Oh, wow.
Like, there's going to be people, like, you crack open a LS right now and hone it out or put new cams, do all this stuff in it. We've been modifying electric motors since forever. Mm-hmm. And that's literally people's job, is to take an old electric motor, crack it open, rewind it, and put it back together. You don't think people are going to take electric car motors, crack them open, and rewind them and figure out all this stuff out and take a already powerful vehicle and turn it into a more powerful? That's what we do. We're just
that's like human nature. Well, as far as like in our world, that's human nature, is to tinker and
competition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You already look at, like, I follow the Cletus McFarland, and he has Cletus and cars at his racetrack. Mm-hmm. So like, you can take your car there and compete in a 2-lap race, right? Mm-hmm. So there's like, these guys will take mini trucks out there, compete. Like, there's a couple fast hard bodies. There's this guy in this Blazer, like a S10 Blazer 2-door, and he smokes fools. And this dude is just getting he is just like no holds, just smoking like supercars.
Yeah.
He's getting sideways in this like $1,500 truck next to this like $200,000 thing. Like,
yeah.
But then like the first time a Tesla went out there and just like smoked a bunch of people, and it made him go buy a Porsche. Why? Because he didn't want to be slower than the other guy. Mm-hmm. So if you'd have like an electric car and it goes out to the street races and it beats you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't find a gas car to beat it,
You're gonna go
it
get an
still
electric car.
beat you. You're gonna go find something to beat that guy.
Yeah.
So it creates like this competition, and I think
Yeah.
it's a good thing
Oh yeah, for sure.
because it
Definitely.
feels like it fuels
Innovation.
innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we pretty much innovated the gas vehicle to the point of we're pretty much done with it. If you
Right.
think about it, you know what I mean. We're getting the most horsepower, the most efficiency, the most everything with the current gas motors. There's
Right.
not much more we can do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's all very interesting. So I hope we answered that dude's question, sort of, kind of, maybe around. At least we were entertaining.
Oh, it's gonna get people to hate us or whatever, but
It's fine. It's okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone,
what-
screw everybody. No, I'm just playing.
Whoa. And moving on. What other question you got?
Just kidding. We like
Yeah, I know.
everyone. Gasoline forever.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah,
What else you got?
that's it.
That's it? We're done?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm trying to find one that's not so
Not so
polarizing.
Episode 70. That's when things went wrong.
Episode 70. No one's listening to this podcast anymore.
Yeah. And it's all worth discussion. As long as everybody, you know what? As long as everybody can just be chill, talk about it. It's like whatever, man. We can talk about whatever you want.
It's
Well,
hard
not
to
whatever
it's
you
hard
want.
to talk about things nowadays
Yeah.
without
But
people.
I mean, it's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's one that we can kind of. It's from roulette.
Oh, great. What? Why is that funny?
It just was funny. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, oh, no. I always like to hear from roulette.
Question for the drop.
Yes.
The amount of traveling done to events with your vehicles, is your insurance affected due to mileage you're racking up?
Oh, that's a good. I just asked you that question the other day when I was like going to renew my insurance and asking you because like right now I have full coverage on the Titan, and I was like, hey, should I drop this down to liability? I ended up. I mean, we could just get into a whole discussion about that, but whatever. I ended up not. I just kept it the same, kept full coverage on it, but it did make me think. Like here I am. I got this truck. It's almost 20 years old. It's 18 years old. Like, am I going to carry such, comprehensive coverage, like not, maybe that's the wrong word. Is that the wrong word? I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. It entered my mind as far as as far as Roulette's question asking, like, does the high mileage affect it? It's kind of interesting because in my case, it doesn't. I'm maybe sure in your case, because like, I do have to fill out like every year you fill out the annual mileage and, they determine, something about it because everything's complicated. Mine doesn't change much because as much as I go travel so much, I don't really do anything here. My life is very confined to a very small space. Like my kid's school is within a couple miles, my grocery store, the mail, like everything in my life revolves around about a 2-mile radius. And so when I am home, the truck doesn't really go far. You know what I mean? So it balances out pretty evenly.
Yeah. And I just lie.
Very good.
The day that I do get in an accident, I need insurance, and they click the key on to see how many miles are on my truck.
Oh my God,
and then I
that's
don't.
hilarious.
Then it doesn't even cover the accident because I've lied this entire time.
This reminds me of like an Always Sunny episode where it's all the gang the gang admits to insurance fraud
I know.
publicly on their podcast.
It's playing in our court case. This
Right.
podcast is playing for evidence in our court case.
Very good. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine. That would be a good question for an insurance person.
Yeah.
and
Well,
if we
and
ever- If we
you're
ever
an
get the
insurance person.
Ryan from Relaxed Atmosphere
Yeah.
is who does my insurance. So if we ever get a chance to have him on, that would be cool.
Don't tell him you lied.
He lies for me.
Oh, now you just implicated the man.
I don't have to fill anything out. I said this is what I have, and he gives me a price.
This episode number 70, off the rails.
I have an electric truck. I can't even drive far, so
Yeah. Well, you have a partially electrified truck.
that already has almost 11,000 miles on it.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is. But but like the whole insurance thing, like I don't travel much when I'm here. So
Yeah, I say the same thing, but then like I still do, and I don't know where I'm going.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 13 miles just to go to the store. So,
Yeah, it is. You live in so like you like live the opposite of what I live. My whole life is a 2 mile radius of within my house. Like yours is like quite larger than that.
If I have to leave, the good thing is my wife works. Chelsea works at a grocery store, so every day she just brings stuff home. Like if I didn't have to work, like if I didn't have to actually leave and do things, I'd be fine. I would never have to go to the grocery store. She's like my Uber Eats.
There, built-in Uber Eats.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, yeah. So thanks, Roulette.
Yeah. Can you ask more controversial questions, please, so we can? If we here's the thing:
burn this mother to the ground.
If we talk about controversial things, it creates controversy in the comments, which kicks the algorithm up, which makes more views. So,
I mean, that's
do we actually
true.
even like EVs, or do we say that just to get more views? That could have been purely propaganda.
It could have been.
You guys,
could be the misinformation.
We could be the propaganda.
They don't know that.
No one knows.
They don't know we're getting those checks from.
Fight in the comments, people. Fight in the comments
On my channel.
on Frank's channel.
Yeah.
Speaking of channels, though, on the Apple Podcast app thing, you can leave comments on there.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. So Last Resort Show, which is Stuart, our buddy Stuart, he said he gave us 5 stars, and he said, I've been binge listening for a few days now during my embroidery.
Oh, yeah, he has. Yeah.
Very entertaining and super cool listening to the business side of the industry. Keep it up, guys. So, like, if you're listening to this on Apple, I think you just scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can rate us 1 star to 5 stars, and you can write a comment, and it helps us. So do that.
Don't do it on this episode. Go listen to some other episodes and give us a rating.
If you are upset at us because we talked about a controversial topic, just lie and say you liked it.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate it.
Like I lie on my insurance.
Yes. Yes. Right on. Well, you want to do one quickie or like what are we doing here?
I went into Costco and they already have Christmas trees up.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
Jeez, man.
Well, I already said on a few episodes ago when we were hanging out with Mike that I don't like Halloween. It's not that I don't like Halloween. I just have like some particular opinions.
Speaking
about
of Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear your particular opinions about it so we can have
I already said it. It's kind of a silly holiday if you ask me, but
it's funny that you think it's a silly holiday from a guy that loves to dress up like Dwight.
And that's what everybody was saying to me. They're like, "Wait, shouldn't you be like the poster boy for Halloween?" No.
Doesn't it just allow people to like be Dwight when instead of
Oh yeah, I think it is. I think maybe some people use that as an escape, and that's good. It makes them happy. I'm all about doing whatever makes you happy, and if that makes you happy, my opinion matters very.
Frank likes to be. Frank likes Halloween every day. He doesn't have to have a special holiday to dress up.
I cosplay as an adult every day.
Yeah.
People don't know that I'm a child.
What was I gonna say? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm deleting. I'm so stupid. I'm deleting photos in my. I was like going through and deleting photos in my photo album.
Oh.
I dropped my truck off at Panda's.
I saw that. I saw him messing with it today. Yeah, bouncing it around.
Yeah, because I don't have the key for it, and the steering wheel's locked.
That's why he was trying to move it over. Oh, that makes total sense.
Thought I had the key. Started searching through random things here, because it's been 10 years since I've needed the key, and I can't. I thought I had it, and I went to push it in there and turn it, and it wasn't the key.
It wasn't the right one.
So.
Well, that's cool. That's exciting. So it's at his shop and kind of getting rolling on that. That's cool. That's really cool.
There's a bunch of exciting things to talk about, and we can't yet.
Oh, one of those, huh?
Yeah. About the show, our show.
Oh, I know. Ooh, yeah, that is exciting.
It is.
We'll get there soon. Hang in there, everybody.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great because it'll give us something to talk about.
Yep. And what's the next? So the next episode is not going to be at the Cancer Show unless we edit it that night at your house and put it up.
We could also do that. We could film one episode and then as a backup and then maybe do something like that. I'm going to have the twins are coming down on Friday.
Are they?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Just hanging out at the house?
Just hanging out. It is my birthday next week.
Yep.
And we're having a little we're not doing anything on Saturday because Sunday we could
do whatever you want on Saturday. You just have to be up at 6:30
that's what
in
I'm
the
saying.
morning.
I gotta be focused for that.
Yeah, you
got to
be up whistling in the morning like everything's okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, the twins are coming down. It's going to be fun next weekend. We're talking about the Cancer Show. It's going to be cool because there's a lot of moving parts to that one. It does add another aspect to the thing because the show is from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., which kind of like makes it cool because like we're going to have some time in between to, just kind of be chill, I guess. But it also, like, if it had been like a more traditional hours from like 9 to 5 or whatever, like however a show is, it would open up more opportunities like that evening to do stuff. Like we could have recorded then. Like it does kind of like make it more interesting, the whole how it's laid out this time.
So we will record. So the next episode will either be the Cancer Show or it'll be the episode we recorded because we couldn't get the Cancer Show up in time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So if you guys have any more questions, put them in the comments in YouTube or send us questions on Instagram so we can. There's still a few more that we can answer in when we do record next week.
Yeah, but I think we're running down here.
Yeah, no more controversial topics, please.
No more controversial topics. All puppy dogs and ice cream. Oh, wait. We can announce our giveaway.
Oh, we have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway. We finally have a giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we giving away?
Electric vehicles.
No.
Let me go. We're giving a bunch of stuff away from our buddy at Alan Ed's Escondido, who has donated a pair of Alpine 10-inch subwoofers and Alpine, I think this is a 5-channel amp. Let's see, mono power amplifier. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm looking at pictures. A bass knob and a Stinger amplifier wiring kit. So basically,
so you can go from nothing to subbing in one giveaway.
Don't you need subs for your Titan?
I do. I need it for the 4Runner, actually. Nank Farton might win.
Dwight might win this one.
Dwight might win this one. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing about next weekend. We're gonna try to film. Oh no, that's gonna be after you're
That'll
done.
when I come back. If
when
we
you
can
come back from
if we can line it up, we can while we're at the show and while we're recording, we can brainstorm stuff and
okay, yeah, because we'll there'll be a new giveaway video coming soon. But yeah, dude, those are some. When I saw that, I was like, dang, this is a good one.
Yeah, we appreciate
some subs.
We appreciate Alan Ed's Escondido.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna pass that right along to you guys.
Yeah,
livelifecustom.com, grinder-tv.com. Lots of new stuff on the websites. Go get it.
There's not a lot of new stuff on mine.
There will be.
I have a new wallet on there.
Brian has a new wallet. I got some new shirts.
I'll hopefully have some new shirts soon. I keep saying it, but it's gonna happen.
It will.
It will. I still have a couple of $15 stout shirts on there, so go get those.
Cool. All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Later.